acting fucking weird with this rod. I don't know what is going on with you, Rod, because you're not telling me. But you're acting all fucking weird with this fucking rod. Last night you didn't even want to text me because you were talking to Rod. What the fuck is going on in your head?
He hung up, so I messaged him.
Jamie, I'm not fucking dealing with your horseshit. If you're in love with that virgin-ass motherfucking bitch, then go fucking get her. You're not fucking doing this shit to me.
What did you say?
He has already been me a lot to you. Jamie, you can't even fucking talk to me. You don't touch me, you motherfucker. Are you fucking joking me? Fuck you! You're not treating me like that. Have a good night with your little fucking virgin-ass bitch boy. Pull me off fucking hold again? Ron might have sent you a fucking message. You gotta pull me off fucking hold again? And it's important that you don't miss that message. Can't miss out on Virgin Ron's messages. You put me on hold for 30 fucking seconds. What the fuck is going on in your head?
He hung up, so I messaged him.
Jamie, I'm not fucking dealing with your horseshit. If you're in love with that virgin-ass motherfucking bitch, then go fucking get her. You're not fucking doing this shit to me.
What did you say?
He has already been me a lot to you. Damn it, you can't even fucking talk to me. You don't touch me, you motherfucker. Are you fucking joking me? Fuck you! You're not treating me like that. Have a good night with your little fucking virgin-ass bitch boy.
Fucking Rod. God bless his heart.
Sorry I interrupted your precious time with Rod tonight. I don't know why I bothered sending any message. Because you're so engrossed in spending time with Rod. Yeah.
I saw your message and I chose to ignore your tantrum.
Yeah, because you'd rather spend time with Rod. So that's just another excuse.
Okay.
Play?
What the fuck is going on in your head? He has always been me a lot to you. Damn it, you can't even fucking talk to me. You don't touch me, you motherfucker. Are you fucking joking me? Fuck you! You're not treating me like that! Have a good night with your little fucking virgin-ass bitch boy Rod! Bitch boy Rod! Fuck you! You're not treating me like that! Have a good night with your little fucking virgin-ass bitch boy Rod! Because I come second to Rod!
How much time did you take looking for a job today?
Don't try to turn things around on me.
Wait a boo. Okay, so I got that out of my system. It is.
To Tiffany Lockhart, well then that wouldn't mean that there would be a timestamp of when you told her that. So if those things don't match up, Jordan, do you understand what I'm saying? If you were telling people earlier in the day that it was deleted, but what you're saying it was actually privated, and then you didn't actually delete it until you spoke with Tiffany, that is a problem.
Okay.
And is that what happened? And I keep asking, and you're dancing around it, and that kind of tells me the answer. Because it's a very simple question I'm asking you. Were you lying about it being deleted earlier in the day and then deleted it after speaking to Tiffany Lockhart? Yes or no?
Does it
You're not
matter?
going to like my answer.
Does it matter though?
Yes or no?
He did what he did, man. Who
I
cares?
don't remember for sure.
It happened yesterday, Just Stacy. You have to remember, it was yesterday. You know,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think
that-
okay, yeah. So the answer is yes. So Jordan, why would you do that? Why? So
I
you
privated everything, and when
no. You were told that it was offensive. You were told that it was that what you had done was basically sexual assault.
Holy
And
shit!
instead of
Sexual
deleting it, you
assault. Come
privated
on
it.
now.
Was that so that you can listen to it later, Jordan?
Kind of killing it now, don't you think?
no,
I think the size don't lie, and I think what you're saying is yes. Because why else would you have kept it? If someone told you, hey, that video that you downloaded off of off of Pornhub, it's actually a 14-year-old, would you private it or delete it?
delete.
Okay, but since it was just Tiffany Lockhart, and how offensive is it? It's a genie. We know what the video was for, and no amount of excuses are going to make people see it any other way. So the fact that you would private instead of immediately deleting makes kind of the rest of the apology when you're saying, I've realized what I've done, and I've learned this and I've learned that. How true is that when you were told that this is offensive?
It's offensive.
Go
It's
ahead.
offensive.
So what did you do? You privated. What happened? So tell me kind of the timeline of when you
Okay,
woke up yesterday, and then you figured out what was going on, and then you started privating it. I want to hear that.
Okay, let me check Skype so I can give you a timeline. All right. She contacted me.
Ah, fucked up.
Let me see here. I'm looking at the message that I sent her at 5 p.m. before she contacted me, where I first
That's okay. Listen to what I'm saying. The timeline yesterday when you woke up, because we spoke. We had spoken even on 4th of July when I was kind of messaging. You're like, this person's grasping at straws. They got nothing. I'm going to bed. You want to talk about it? Call me. That was kind of your attitude.
Yeah.
It was pretty
shit.
cavalier. Like, I don't really want to entertain this anymore. This is bullshit. Yeah. If you want to talk about it, give me a call, but I'm not going to sit here on the phone with you going back and forth. And maybe to you, it made it sound like you've been vindicated, but to me, that kind of made me think there was something more. And that's when I looked at the video from what you were calling a troll. Because your attitude, you had no interest in watching the video. If someone made a video about me, saying what I called lies, better fucking believe I would watch it, because my intention would be to make a response to it. And your lack of desire to watch it told me that there was something
That's
I needed
funny.
to go and look at. You didn't want to
I
address
ran
it
from it like a coward.
Yeah.
God. You guys are bad.
I ran from it like a coward, straight up.
And when all of your content
You guys
is
are a
about
bad influence on
making
me.
fun of cowards and how Lauren is a coward, when faced with the exact same thing, you did the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's got to be pretty eye-opening to you.
Yeah, it really is.
So take me back. Saturday, 4th of July, America's birthday. You go to bed feeling vindicated. This video had come out. Your friends, quote unquote, friends in the community,
Quote
had
unquote,
chased
that's
this
right.
person off, had their video removed, and as far as you were concerned, it was done and it was going to be over soon, and you'd be back to TCAPing and doing your thing the next day, or Monday, maybe Tuesday, it would all blow over and you'd be back to doing your thing. So Sunday morning, now I know in between Saturday and Sunday, that's when the link and the Google Drive and stuff was sent out. So take me back to yesterday morning when you realized this is wrong, and then what your process was.
Let's see.
I would like to ask him some questions.
It wasn't me when you decided that that it was wrong. It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Screenshots are going around, Jordan.
Yeah.
I know that at some point earlier in the day, you decided, okay, well, this is wrong, and I'm asking you what happened, because I know that someone sent something to you. You saw something. You didn't wake up and decide, oh, shit, what have I done? Someone told you, like, hey, there's some stuff out here and it doesn't look good. And it wasn't me, because you'd already decided that when I talked to you.
Who did originally tell me? Must have been someone on Discord.
You know, I've got a little time. If you need to go to Discord and look at it, because that's what I'm curious about, Jordan. I really feel like, 'cause I'm looking at the apology, I'm listening to you, and there's a disconnect, and that disconnect is going to be it's going to make your video as disingenuous as the Lauren apology. So I need you to go back and figure out when you realize it was wrong, because that's going to be a question that a lot of people are going to ask.
Yeah. I can tell you this. I don't know if this is relevant. So I'd sent the message of apology to Tiffany at 5
PM?
and PM.
Okay, that's
yesterday.
That's nothing to do. I mean, you sent that apology after being talked to by several people, correct?
Well, no. What I'm just trying to timeline between
You're
when
going back.
the video
I don't
was
want you to
deleted.
work backwards from the video. Let's not talk about that video for right now, and let's go back, like I keep asking, to when you decided, when you woke up and it was like, oh man, what have I done? Because I know that's not what happened. You were still feeling vindicated when you woke up on July 5th. You were still feeling good. A little shitty because you had been catfished, but you were still feeling pretty good. And
I'm trying to figure out
something happened. Jordan, something happened. It was one thing. You know,
One
like
thing.
if bombs started falling on your city right now, you would remember the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember what happened. It was yesterday. Please don't do the delay tactics with me, dude. My kid knows even not to do these with me. They don't work.
Poor kid.
I don't need to know who the person was, but what happened and what time was it yesterday? Because, Jordan, these receipts are going to come out. If you don't get ahead of this, like I told you Friday night, it's going to turn out much worse. And you didn't listen to me.
Receipts are going to come
out. It's funny
out.
because the one time you did listen to me, you did a stream with Kennedy and made a lot of money. And then you start doing shit on your own, and maybe I really don't know what I'm talking about. And that hasn't quite worked out. Friday night, I gave you the best advice anyone was going to give you regarding this, without even knowing the entire situation. Jordan, get ahead of it.
Yeah.
You didn't listen.
You're right.
You credit me for knowing how to deal with trolls, quote-unquote trolls, but then you didn't listen to me.
Trolls.
Because it would have been more embarrassing for you to admit those things. But how much more embarrassing is it now? Because now there's a drive out there. So people aren't waiting for an explanation. They're waiting for you to explain the things that they already see.
Yeah.
So, again, yesterday morning, after you woke up and had your Fruity Pebbles or whatever it is you did, what was it that happened so that you knew I fucked up?
I'm trying to figure out. I'm going through Discord right now trying to
Jordan,
figure out who first
I
contacted
just
me.
find it really hard to believe that you're saying that you don't remember what you were told or who it was that contacted you, that alerted you to, like, hey, this is much worse than you let on to.
With my memory, especially when I'm in panic mode, everything becomes a blur. That's me personally.
Look, I have a lot of
It's
experience
maybe
with
very
crisis
different than
mode.
you, but I am.
But you've had all morning. You had all yesterday. And you're going to tell me you don't remember the first message that said, like, hey, this is more fucked up than you said it was.
I've been concentrating on nothing other than the apology.
Okay,
wanting
all right,
to
go
do
back.
with
Go back to your
trying to-
Discord. I'm gonna wait. Go back to your Discord and find the message because it'll be there. So.
Yeah. Yes. But you know what though, Sean? This fucking idiot is so pathetic. Like, he's like kind of like Lauren. He's like half Lauren and half Wes. Cause he's like into like country music and shit, and he thinks he's gonna be like some kind of rock star or something. And I seen some of his comedy skits, and I'm doing that in quotation marks, and they're just sad. Like, I think that, but you know what though, I have to give him credit that Jordan Comedy's videos are more entertaining than Westmo's. So I don't know what that makes me, but I still think they're both garbage. But I would pick Jordan Comedy over Westmo's stuff anytime.
Okay, you contacted me yesterday at 1:24 a.m. with Jordan gets Tiffany Dack out of sexual fantasy.
What?
And then
I contacted you at 1:24 a.m.
my time.
yesterday.
That's what it says yesterday. And then
Like he sounds like such a bitch, you know what I mean? Like
Hold on.
7 p.m.
he's like
Hold on. I
he
contacted
sounds
you
like
at 1:24 in the morning. Where?
how do you say, like a pushover?
Skype.
Whoops.
And I said at 1:24
Like
a.m.
he sounds like he's so desperate
What?
for friends or something.
You sent me the link from Mac and Cheese saying Jordan gets Tiffany Dack out of sexual fantasy.
Oh, it was not the link. It was a screenshot, correct?
Yes.
And you said what?
And then I said,
I just think it's funny that like this whole thing, it's all about like he's trying to save his channel because he thinks he's so popular, right? So he's trying to come up with a stupid apology. So yeah, in a way, it's kind of funny because it's like, you know, it's like we're watching him or we're hearing him squirm, you know what I mean? So I guess it's fun in a way, I guess. And we're just like, you know, looking at other predators. You know what I mean? I feel a little bit Lorne. I wanted to stream, but I didn't want to stream any Lorne. I'm a little bit of Lorne burnt out. So we're gonna do this. Just today, I'm not gonna fucking, you know what I mean? Just trying to be different.
very cavalierly, this person is grasping at straws. I did that sketch months ago.
Cavalierly? You said a
And
word?
I can't hear you.
going to bed.
What was that?
So I said very cavalierly
Is that a
that
word?
this person was grasping at straws.
I
The
don't
sketch
think
has
that's a
been
word.
up for months now.
You kind of blew it off, right?
And
And then you went
yes,
to bed.
very much so.
There was
Yes.
you
And-
weren't concerned. There was no concern. I
Yes.
could tell.
Absolutely. And then yesterday you said at 6:37 there have been people more supportive of you. That ends today.
Now, there have been a few people, but okay, dude. I'm asking you about the morning, because by the
Right.
time I know,
Oh.
Jordan, I keep reminding you,
Yes.
screenshots are floating around. I know you were contacted earlier in the day, Jordan.
Yes.
You said it was in your Discord, and now you're telling me about what's in your Skype. I need you to stop hiding it. You're telling me what happened at 1:37 a.m. and then at 6:37 p.m. Jordan, do better. I know
Fucking remember.
you don't need to remember what's written in your Discord.
I know. I'm searching now through messages I got yesterday.
How many messages was it a lot of people real supportive of you, telling you that this was just a troll and just to let it go?
Yeah, there was some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I woke up around 1 p.m., so it should be sometime around there or later.
Like he's so bad. Like it's just like, what he was like, what, 48 too? Like, come on, man. Like, well, you gotta give up on your dreams someday. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be fucking 48 years old and still fucking trying to hold on to fame that you're still gonna be famous. You know what I mean? Like, you
Fucking
gotta
nothing.
do something with
I
yourself.
talked to about 5 people. Let me check.
Like, you know what I mean?
Jordan, okay, so then no.
Like, he's 48 years old, and you know what I mean? He still lives in a shitty apartment with nothing in it, so he's obviously not good at being a comedian, right? So, you know what I mean? Try something else, man. But I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these people.
I need you to tell me that, because I don't know. I guess you want the receipt to come out first, and then you can admit to it later. What happened yesterday, Jordan, when you suddenly realized that everything that you'd been told from the night of the 3rd, and then all of a sudden on the 5th, you decided, okay, yeah, this was wrong. What happened? No, Jordan, I'm asking you, what do you need to see? You don't remember yesterday at what point you had this come to Jesus moment, and now you realize that everything was wrong. Everything that you had done was wrong. It just a light went off. You didn't talk to anyone?
Let me see.
Like, this guy got caught doing some serious shit, huh? Like, he got caught, like, liking...
Dude, I have a shitty memory.
I'm gonna remind...
This guy got caught liking little girls' pictures and shit, eh? Like, that's pretty bad.
I'm gonna remind you again, if you raise your voice at me, this is not going to end well.
Oh, shit.
You'll notice how calm and measured I am.
Now it's on.
You are. I apologize.
Fuck you, ass.
That is your last warning. Do not raise your voice at me.
I raise my voice at him. That's why he's scared of me.
Frustration level.
Your personal frustration level is with you.
100% scared.
And it's not a reflection. And it's not a reflection of me. And the only person trying to help you in that right now is me. So if you want that to end and you want me to just go ahead and make the video and I'll just tell the story my way, we can do that.
My way. It's my way.
Oh, did you hang up on me?
No, I thought you disconnected me.
I didn't disconnect you.
Okay.
I don't do that. I don't play games. I don't yell. I don't scream. I don't hang up on people. I don't do that shit.
He just
I'm
fucking tries to
things
fucking
like
make up lies and manipulate people.
I appreciate that.
Believe them and fucking or fucking has like 1,000
I know
like,
Mini
different
Syllables
accounts.
reached out to me yesterday, and she said she would like to do an interview with me.
Okay, what time was that?
Okay, let me see. We are looking at 1:04 p.m. and I had just gotten up.
Why would it take you so long to find something that happened at 1:04 when you said yourself you woke up at 1 o'clock?
Who wakes up at 1 o'clock? Jeez.
Because I was going through Discord and this was Skype.
That sounds like somebody that's
And
depressed.
what did you and because I didn't know about this. What did you and
3
Mini Syllables discuss?
No, I guess not.
mention
I'm a
this
night
to
owl.
you.
I wake up like around that time. It depends what time I go to
Maybe you
sleep.
should do a response video. She says I was thinking
I'm
about
just talking
that.
shit.
And she said she would like to ask me and interview me. And I said, okay, I would think about it. And she says, I will be unbiased and we could do it privately. And if you feel comfortable, I can put it on my channel.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good idea. She seems to me to be someone who would be unbiased. She says, oh, I definitely have feelings, but this way you could get your thoughts out there. I told her the apology video was my priority, but I was definitely considering it. I absolutely wanted to run it by you before I did any sort of interview. You have a much clearer head.
That's very like how Little McNuggets
I
is.
think it's a good idea.
Can I run by this you?
Come ready to
Fucking Sloth Cat is probably like that.
Excuse
me, sir, can I run this by you? See what you think?
When we started talking about everything. And no, I think it's a really good idea.
Be giving them
and it also
something
gives you a
that
chance
they
to
like.
apologize to
Be
Mini
on
Syllables
his dick
right
like
there
that.
during your interview, because I've heard you say things to and about her before.
Yeah.
And doesn't she have daughters who are also a part of the community?
I don't know. I do know she has daughters.
Pretty sure her daughters have been a part of the community and have been on things. And just imagine her daughters listening to some of the things that you said about their mom.
What about what you did to that girl?
Shit.
Muse.
May I ask you a question for your opinion?
Yeah.
You got her to move halfway across the country.
This may not be relevant at all,
Right
but
after she had surgery, man.
because
What
I
the fuck is wrong
am
with you?
serious, very serious about getting my head together. Today I called my
got mad
insurance
because she wouldn't
company,
give you no pussy.
and I got a list of
And plus,
referrals.
Wes got mad because Muse wouldn't give in no pussy, but you know what? Like, you guys know how I am, man. Muse, she's pretty cute, you know what I mean? And She looks like she has standards, so I don't blame her for not wanting to fuck that ugly fuck.
For mental health practitioners. I need help. I think I have a lot of things related to women in relationships that needs to get straightened out. And obviously, you know what they say, the result of your best thinking brought you where you are now. And I don't want to be where I'm at now.
I think Misha's cute.
And it's something that personally scares me. I did have
Is that flirting? I
meetings
don't
with
think
like a
that's
shrink
flirting. I'm
almost
just
20
saying.
years ago. It was
I'm a
helpful.
man.
But one thing I never discussed was
Made out of flesh and
issues
blood.
with women in relationships, and I think that's way past due. And I'm not running anymore.
I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I think you'd be doing a disservice if you didn't also mention the children. That because
I am going to discuss everything with them.
Yeah. And
Everything.
you know, I did look at the apology, and I know that's something that you brought up about the getting some, you know, mental help, and I'm sure people will applaud that, but how many times has that been promised before?
Yeah, well, of course, you were thinking the same thing I did with, you know, Lauren Armstrong going, oh, maybe I need to get some help. But
What was that one?
I've already called. Oh, I said, you're probably thinking, what?
No,
The
what's
famous Lauren going, excuse me?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was saying, what was the line? I'm not familiar with it.
I believe when Chris Hansen says, what
Can I say what it is already? Because I want to see if he gets it right. I think they're talking about.
you do,
I need to get counseling to get off the internet. Is that what they're talking about?
he says, maybe I need to get some help and get off the internet.
Oh, okay.
And my thought process was, so I actually called, got some names, left a couple messages. It's COVID, so they'll probably be distant, but that makes no difference at all. And I want to start doing this ASAP. Because to me, it's not enough to say, oh, I can do better. No, I want to fucking prove that this is a priority.
Yeah, I mean, that's let's discuss that during. But I really want to know about this day yesterday and when it was determined, when you decided that what you had done was this horrible, you know, awful, no good, very bad thing.
Yeah. So I woke up at 1. I sent a message to Tiffany at 5.
Okay, that was 4 hours later.
Yeah, and so I'm getting closer to actually pinpointing.
Because
Hey,
what it seems
my
like
false.
to me, Jordan, is that
I like this guy's comment. Hold on, I'm gonna make a poll.
as they were
What's
brought
this
to your
guy's
attention.
Monegros? How do you spell that?
I don't think the
I'm
children
gonna make a
thing
poll.
ever would have been brought up until I sent you that.
Because I have a very small audience,
And
barely
with
to
your
none.
genie fetish and everything else, that's
I wanna put up a
unacceptable.
poll.
And then you were like, you're right, that's unacceptable. I'm disgusted by it.
Yeah.
How genuine is that?
I did.
I hate
So
that sigh.
you talked to many syllables and probably no. Go ahead and say what you were going to say. You did what?
I've done a lot of reflection, and I need to do a lot more about how much this fetish has ruled my life,
Okay.
and in some ways ruined my life. I have been unsuccessful all my life with keeping a relationship, and there's something fundamentally wrong with
I'm
me.
just trying to
And
find
I
out
won't
how to
get
spell
into what I
something.
think the causes were or something, because I don't want this to be a soft thing, but there is something fucking wrong with me when it comes to everything from relationships to fetishes to my interactions with women, and this is the very best way I know to actually do something about it. I threw out a lot of porn yesterday.
What?
You didn't need to know that, but it's true.
Could you admit that it didn't become horrible to you until these things were individually pointed out to you?
Yes. You didn't realize it was really in my face in a way I ignored it. I'm like, I'm out of fucking control.
Hold on.
Yes.
Because you said you knew that the children thing was already bad.
Yeah.
So that wasn't thrown in your face. You were aware of that one already.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say most people in society don't need to be told that that's bad because you know that already.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that in particular I'm asking you about, because you already knew it was wrong. When the other stuff was pointed out, you didn't go and pull that stuff down. But once it became clear that you were going to need to address it, how much time did you spend deleting and privating accounts and that kind of stuff, Jordan?
I deleted so many things off my hard drive. I got rid of physical media.
Jordan,
Everything Jeannie deleted.
You're giving me fluff. I'm asking you a very direct question. When you knew that an apology was going to need to be made, rather than getting to work on the apology, what did you do? Scorched earth, right?
What do you mean by that? I think I understand, but I mean, you were
know
just like,
exactly-
okay, let me just
exactly-
get rid of everything?
Exactly what I mean. Yeah, prior to
Why am I so
making the
funny?
apology,
Do
you're
you guys
gonna go
ever?
and get rid of any incriminating evidence?
Well, you say that-
private things. You're
I'm
gonna
so
delete things, and then you're
funny.
gonna say, "I've learned that I was wrong." But what you first did was, what
You guys
your
ever have that
real
problem?
first intention was not to make amends. It was to further insulate and protect your.
You guys ever wonder why you're so funny? Like I just made myself LOL. Why am I so fucking funny? Like sometimes I feel like I need to call the doctor, call 911, and say, "How do I stop being so funny? I don't feel well. I'm so funny." But
yourself, so that nothing else
Yeah,
could be found.
it was panic.
But
Absolutely.
like you said in one of your own live streams, you've used the name Jordan for 20 plus years online. That's a lot of stuff to try and go and delete.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a huge amount.
So what I'm saying, and the reason why I bring this up before we get to this apology, is do you think now that we're discussing this and you're admitting that, you know that these things weren't horrible and awful to you until they were individually brought up in your face, would you say that this was a genuine, sincere apology, or that maybe it needs another rewrite?
shut the fuck up.
It's a genuine,
Bitch.
sincere apology.
Like you're my sincere
And
fucking
I've labored over it, and I've tried to be as honest as I can.
ass beat. Fucking beat your ass.
What's your opinion of that?
What do you think my opinion is of that, Jordan?
I have a feeling you're not going to agree, even though we went through it.
We went through it, and I wanted you to. What did I tell you last night or this morning before you went to bed?
Good night, I love you.
To delve deeper into the Christian angle and how I was raised.
When you were going to bed, what did I say, Jordan?
Good night, I love you. I miss you. Good
I'll
night.
look it up.
I miss you. I can't wait till we're together. I don't know. What did you tell him? Oops.
Okay, your Christian upbringing, how you reflect on it now, and how you managed to live with it before.
The last comment I made.
But you said you knew it was wrong before. I know it's late, so get some sleep and message me tomorrow.
Keep reading.
So get some sleep, message me tomorrow when you have had some time to reflect and give it another edit.
Okay. I wanted you to reflect.
Yes.
I wanted you to think, because when you're saying in this apology that disgusts me that I've done that, it's repulsive, it didn't disgust and repulse you until 6:37 p.m. your time yesterday. When I
This guy's so annoying. How do you repulse you? Why does he talk like that?
Right?
I was just making
yourself,
one
man.
excuse in my mind after another.
It's always on.
So, yeah, that's kind of true.
Okay. So is that sincere?
Sincere? That's not
And the
sincere.
reason why I know it's still not a sincere apology, I'll tell you that the women I've quote-unquote flirted with are of legal age.
Yeah.
Get the word flirting out of here. You were
I did.
propositioning.
What about
did.
the word sincere?
This is the last thing you sent me. This was the one you sent me earlier.
Hold on. Oh, quote unquote flirted.
There was no
you're saying I
quote-unquote flirting. You were propositioning
Okay.
women.
Yes.
And then you say, but I've hit the like button of girls. Yeah, girls is a little misleading.
Girls.
Because I can call Tiffany Lockhart a girl. I can call Kat G a girl. Betty is a girl. You were liking hitting the like button of children, and that needs to be said.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
Okay.
You know what he was doing when he was liking those pictures, right?
I mean, because until you can, Jordan, until you could admit that these things were pointed out to me, and after the fact, I'm disgusted by it, or these things weren't disgusting to me until they've been pointed out, and that's why I'm going to get help. This is still just fluff. I wanted you to, just like when I kept asking you about the video yesterday, I want to give you a chance to say, okay, well, I privated it, I lied about it. So you're saying you spoke with mini-syllables at 1:04, so 4 minutes after you woke up and started talking with mini-syllables. And then I'm sure there were other conversations had throughout the day. I've seen other conversations had throughout the day. So you'd already known that this was offensive and that this was going to get tied back to your genie fetish, and people were going to have an issue with it, but instead of deleting it, you saved it.
Yeah, you sick fuck.
I put it on private like a fucking moron.
Guess you wanted to jerk off to it later.
Deleted it later.
Blaming stupidity is never okay, and you're saying you put it on private for several hours until you were told you need to delete that shit. And then it was like, okay, I'm deleting it now. But earlier you were saving it. Whether you could bring it back later or whether it was just for your own listening pleasure, you saved it.
Absolutely.
That's not here on your apology. So I'm asking you again, Joran.
Yeah.
Even after we went through your day yesterday, before I asked you to, let's get to the apology, you still believe that this is a sincere apology?
Sincere?
That you left it up.
You guys aren't sincere with me. Be sincere with me, guys.
Like I said yesterday, if you feel like you're giving too much information,
Are you guys being sincere?
If you feel like you're sharing too much, then you probably aren't. And you know from looking at this that you left a lot of pieces of this puzzle out. And if you're not going to put it here, guess what's going to happen?
Not be sincere.
Everyone's going to come. I could show you my Twitter DMs. Everyone's going to come for it because every story I do, anything that gets done,
what?
people come forward with.
Every story I do? What the fuck does he think he is? Some kind of reporter now? He's a reporter now? Every story I do. The fuck out of here.
Lots of receipts because they want to make it into the video. Whether it's anonymous or
every
not,
report I do,
they want to help. Because this doesn't match up to what I was told. I was told these were deleted hours earlier than this says they were deleted 4 hours later, and now it says privated. And he kept saying that he deleted it, but now he admitted first he privated it.
Like, who cares, man, right? Like, he's just, at this point, he's just trying to embarrass him. But it's getting old, man. He's just
and then I changed
repeating himself. He's trying to get him to say something, and he's not saying it, so move on, try different material, man. That's obviously not working. Boring.
And you're doing a lot of, I'm trying to remember, I can't recall, I plead the fifth. That's not a good sign. That tells me I know it's not a sincere apology.
See, I gotta entertain myself.
If you want to record a non-sincere apology, that's fine. That's on you. But you can't expect people to not do a reaction to that.
You have to be sincere.
With all the receipts floating around out there. Now, if you give the full thing, if you put it all on the field, then there's nothing for anyone to analyze. There's nothing for anyone to say, yeah, but this doesn't match this.
Yeah. So what else do you think my apology needs right now? What is my glaring lack?
What do you think? I think it lacks.
What do you think?
I think it lacks detail. I think you're still glossing over. The thing about the kids, I said you need to go dive deeper into that, and it's still one sentence.
One sentence.
I hit the like button of girls who are way younger, and then you go on to that disgust me, it was repulsive, and you spend more time talking about your Christian upbringing, which you should leave that. But the part about liking the button,
nah, not at all, man.
Yeah. Who are way.
Not at all my faults, right? Like you see it, right? Like them two, it's like it's so bad to me. Okay, like when I try to explain things to people, sometimes I have to say them what's that word, metaphorically. So metaphorically, English is my second language, so I have a hard time pronouncing stuff. Hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to say. But to me, that word, I'm hearing like two fucking little boys trying to fucking see whose fucking dick is bigger. You know what I mean? Like, it's so bad. Like, you both suck. the only reason why he's talking to Jordan is because nobody else wants to do it, and I wish somebody else did, because they would have probably done a better job than this fucking idiot. You know what I mean? So, shout out to False. My False.
Younger. This wasn't a one-time thing. You need to elaborate on that. You need to go deeper into that, and because the image isn't going to be there, the image is not going to be used on your video. But you need to discuss that these women were dressed in the style of something that you fetishize, because you're not saying that here. You need to say you need to say that these things were pointed out to you and you blew it off and thought it was nothing, and that when more things came to light, then suddenly you felt the need to apologize and address it. But in the beginning, you wanted everyone to ignore it. Because if you really do want to help people, if you really do want to help one person so that they don't do the same thing, you'll lay out all the bullshit that you did in the beginning that you could have avoided this with.
Gotcha.
That'll actually help someone. Because you needed to face it. The minute it came up, you should have faced it. But you were like, nah, I got friends in the community. I'm beloved. I'll be all right.
That's what he thought too. When he came into this community trying to hide that shit, that new stuff. It came out though, but he tried to fucking...
Yeah, no shit. I've been right this whole time.
He tried to fucking dress it up.
You ignore and ignore and ignore, and look where we are.
Seem like it was something that it's not, but people can see the truth, man.
If you would have been honest
people
with me
aren't
from
stupid.
the beginning on Friday night, I could have helped with that too. But now that cat's out of the bag. The toothpick... Metaphoric. See, I can't say that. I can't say... I can read it. My tongue doesn't go like that, but I can go. I can roll my R's. Oh shit, I'm gonna die. Pieces out of the tube, and there's no getting that back in there. So now you have to manage this. I don't know your story. You do. I don't know the timeline. You do. I don't know how you actually feel about this. You do. But if you need me to tell you how to feel about it, that tells me there's a completely other issue going on. Now you can look at this. You can look at this and tell the areas where you are not being sincere. And if I need to highlight them with red fucking pen, that's not going to make me happy. This doesn't have to be short, but it does have to be complete. And it does have to be sincere. Or you might as well not do it and just delete everything and focus on your music channel. But even then,
your music channel
is going to follow you.
Yeah.
Just like Lauren had a music channel.
So I say you take another crack at it, and I'll say it one more time. If you feel like you're sharing too much or giving too much detail about the things that you've done, then you probably aren't.
And you know what it is? I've been concentrating too much on avoiding humiliation instead of just doing the right thing.
Jordan, are you already not humiliated?
This whole problem. I am, completely.
So how much worse do you think it'll be when you make some bullshit excuse? How famous is the mac and cheese video, Jordan? Why do you think it is?
I would be humiliated, and I wouldn't even be streaming if I ever had like accusations like this guy has. You know what I mean? Like I would be nervous, just waiting for the day that they're gonna find out.
There are videos called Top 10 Worst Apologies on YouTube. You don't want to make that. You don't want to make that.
No, I don't want to do that.
So I do have time later. I highly suggest you add. Don't take anything out. Change the words. You weren't flirting with anyone, and those weren't girls. Those were children. And add some sincerity to this, some humility, and some actual humility, and understanding
Look
that
who's talking about humility.
These things were pointed out to you. You knew that what you were doing was wrong, and you continue to do it. And now you realize you need help. But what were those things you did wrong? And elaborate on.
Hearing this fucking guy talking about humility is like hearing Lauren talk about how he's gonna quit smoking cigarettes.
On those things, I mean, the lying about deleting when you hadn't deleted, that's big.
Yeah.
And why? And you need to tell why. It wasn't Sex Tips with Dan that you thought maybe you could bring back. There was a reason why you wanted to keep the Genie video, I think you need to discuss it with yourself internally and then put it down on your script and send it back to me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, master. I love you, sir.
Hey everybody, this is the rare serious video from me. I'm going to
Hold on, is this the apology? I want to see if there's video, because if there's video, we're gonna watch it.
read what I wrote because that's the best way for me to organize my thoughts and really
Organize.
say what I mean.
I think this guy, I think he's retarded. Did you see it? Did you hear that way he said organize? He's like, I organize. The way I organized. So this is his apology. So all this time we've been hearing that fucking guy talk about nothing, trying to be funny. This is what they were working on. So.
Hey everybody, this is the rare serious video from me. I'm going to read what I wrote because that's the best way for me to organize my thoughts and really say what I mean. Please bear with me.
Bear with me.
I apologize to all the people in the TCAP community and especially the women. I have behaved inappropriately with so many women in the community. I can't even remember them all. I apologize to all women on the internet over the years that propositioned. The sketches I did with Kelp Pill and Tiffany Lockhart were way too sexual, with me having them say very sexual things. I've taken those videos down. I apologize to Molly. I went to her video and commented on how her breasts were bouncing. I apologize to the great Babsby for the times I made her uncomfortable, trying to get face pics from her. I've been way too sexual on the live streams with people I call my friends, like Rotus Chew Tootsie, Erido, and Scarlet Ebony. I apologize to anyone in my streams or anyone else's streams that I made feel dirty, objectified, or in any other way uncomfortable. I apologize for any comments I left on videos where I was overly sexual. I apologize to anyone I may have left out, and I know that your pain is no less than anyone else I have mentioned.
Can you believe this guy thought this was real? Like nobody cares, just
I
get
haven't
out of
done
here.
this just on YouTube either. I've done it on Instagram, putting some very suggestive comments on pictures of women I found attractive. For most of my life, I've had a fetish for genies, harem girls, and belly dancers. If I saw a pic of a woman that was dressed that way, I'd fetishize them. I'd say very sexual things to them. 100% propositioning them. Some women told me off, and others suffered in silence. That's unacceptable. I do the same thing on DeviantArt, sexualizing left and right. So many times I can't even count. For years.
Just sexualizing everywhere.
What's even worse than
Clicking
that?
sexualize, click
I've hit the
sexualize,
like
click
button
sexualize.
on pics of little girls, children wearing the same types of outfits that turn me on the most.
That's fucked up.
The person who was alerting people to my predatory behavior first in a video and then through emails was not a troll, but someone trying to blow the whistle on me, which was the right thing to do, and it should be applauded. Sorry, sip of water.
Shut the fuck up.
When the video exposing me was released,
what I
I
would've
completely
smashed
blew
them.
it off in a cavalier fashion, blocking it and getting it taken down.
Boom!
Even
Shut
getting
the
my
fuck
friends
up,
to help me
fucking
do
bitch.
I was so much more concerned with my reputation than doing the right thing. I privated my more sexual videos when I should have deleted them right away. I thought everything would blow over and I could put said videos right back up. Avoiding humiliation was much more important to me than acknowledging what I had done like a real adult.
Fucking retard.
When I saw the Google
It's important
Drive
to me.
and saw in black and white just how creepy and selfish and perverted I have become over the years, everything compiled and in front of my face, I couldn't pretend how I acted was right anymore. No more bullshit excuses that I'd always told myself. Those walls came down. I knew I was an asshole. There was no way to deny anything.
Like, who could think this is genuine?
I fucking hate what I've done and the person I've become.
Does anybody think
it's
this is
repulsive.
genuine?
My own actions now make my skin crawl. I was raised in a Christian family where I was taught to respect women. I was taught to protect, not predate, children. I left the church years ago, and I must have left the lessons
Talk like
of
a
respect
man.
behind. What a stupid thing to do. Anyone can say they've changed and aren't going to do wrong anymore. But my best thinking, realistically, got me here. So that I can really change my actions and thinking, I'm going to start seeing a mental health specialist. These issues I have need to be resolved so I don't hurt anyone else. Thank you all for listening to me. I've taken down my videos that were sexual in nature. My stuff going forward will not be sexual. I'm going to make sure I'm respectful to all
PG.
the women I meet on the internet.
Everything's PG
and
now,
in person
guys.
From now on.
And it's gonna put a
Thank
little
you for your time.
reminder.
I hope you can forgive me, but if you can't, that's fine. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Fuck you.
On the night of July 6, 2020, Joran released his apology video. He didn't even mean to do it. The reaction was swift and fierce. On July 7, 2020, Joran called Wes to discuss his feelings.
To discuss his feelings.
This was an hour before the interview with many syllables and was a chance for Joran to prepare.
I want to discuss my feelings.
Warning, Wes Most is kind of a troll in this call. If that is not your thing, please skip this video.
Warning, Wes is a fucking bitch who only fucking picks on women. And when a fucking real man steps up, he runs away like a scared little bitch. But you guys probably know that by now. That's why he would never talk to me, ever. Are you kidding me? That's why he used to send like clubber time. That's how he used to send messages, trying to beg me to stop.
Hey man, you're this is way out of hand, man. I don't know what the beef is, but bah.
That was my impression of clubber time.
The date was July 7, 2020. The time was 12:30 p.m.
You, with everything, you know, that's happened since last night. What's going on in your head right now?
Well, very nervous about the interview.
Mm-hmm.
I've done everything I can physically and mentally to keep myself calm.
Okay. What do you mean?
I'm not running away, which is something.
What did you do physically?
I did a little exercise. I did a little meditation. I smoked a little CBD.
Oh, okay. What kind of exercise did you do, just out of curiosity?
Push-ups.
Oh, all right. That's good.
I find if I exercise, if I fatigue myself a little bit physically, it helps me with anxiety and stuff like that.
No, that's good to hear. So, were you around when the video debuted, or did you just set it to debut and kind of forget about it? And have you looked at the video? What are your thoughts?
I have not looked at any comments.
Okay.
I've completely isolated myself from anyone online up until about half an hour ago.
Okay. And have you got a lot of messages?
Last I saw, notification was at least 20.
Wow.
So it's a lot, but I'm like, I need to be in the right frame of mind for this interview, because right now the interview is the most important thing, and I don't want to be in any sort of negative headspace where I can't do my best for that.
Yeah. Well, let's after the interview, let's talk about it, because there were some comments made. And I know you don't want to read everything, but there were some comments made from some people that you may want to address. So let's do that after your interview. I agree. You should be in the right headspace. You did some push-ups. You smoked some CBD. Did you eat a good breakfast? Or I guess it's lunchtime there, huh?
Yeah. I haven't eaten the last 2 days, but don't look at that drastically, because I fasted in the past, so it's a lot easier for me than other people.
Okay. Well, that's good. You should maybe do some content about fasting at some point. I bet people would be really interested in that.
Why don't you fucking worry about making good content yourself, you fucking idiot,
so,
and fucking worry about
all
other
right, so
people.
this interview. What kind of questions are you anticipating being asked? What are the questions that make you nervous? I guess would be the best question, and then let's work backwards.
I know what questions would make him nervous, Wes.
I think anticipating any questions about me getting aroused by underage girls.
That's fucked up. Can you believe this guy was in this community?
Do you expect that question to come up, and how are you going to answer it?
I do anticipate it will come up. I mean, she's given me no information. I don't know if it's going to be a half-hour interview or a 2-hour interview. I have no idea the amount of questions.
Well,
I just know that she can
in my experience, you write down, 10, 15, 20 questions, and then while you're interviewing, 20, 30 more come up. I've never set a planned time for an interview, but most of mine have gone at least an hour and a half. Now,
imagine if Wes interviewed me,
and I don't know her
he would
interview
leave
style,
crying.
but yeah, it's a good idea not to plan an amount of time that it's going to take.
Oh, I have no plans.
That would never happen.
Thing for today, and if I have time later to do some laundry.
Okay. So if asked that question, how are you going to respond to that?
I have absolutely got aroused looking at pictures of high school girls.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But that's not what I mean. You know what the question is going to be next.
That's fucking
right?
gross. Really
have
though?
I pleasured myself?
Sure, yeah, that's one of them, and your answer would be what?
Those are babies, man, in high school.
And then the little girl. I mean, I think she looks about 7 or 8. So you would pleasure yourself to the high school girls, and then you would get to the little girl,
babies.
hit a like, and then move on to find something else. Or that's what the question's going to be. So, but like, why? Let's do the mock interview here. Why would you take the time? Why would you even like something like that while in a state of arousal?
Because in my bullshit,
Mr. BDCM, what's it called?
Bullshit, I'll be like, oh,
what's that thing? What's that thing that Wes is into? BDCM, It's that bondage stuff. BSMD. I don't know. Oh shit.
She'll appreciate a like. Oh, isn't that cute? I'm being nice.
Like, so say you had a girlfriend, and she came in, I don't know, she came in unexpectedly to your house, and you were on the TV and you were watching Pornhub, which totally normal for an adult to be watching that kind of material. But then in the picture-in-picture, you had like Little Miss Perfect or one of those kiddie pageant shows on in a picture-in-picture, and she said, "What are you doing?" And you said, "Well, I was watching some porn, but then I also wanted to give the Nielsen rating to this show, so I had it open in a box on the bottom." Do you think she would believe that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So how believable does that sound to you when you say, "Yeah, I was in the middle of pleasuring myself, but then I saw this little girl and thought, you know what, I'd give her a like. She went out of her way to dress like a genie and do a little dance routine or whatever."
That's fucked up.
So I would probably work on that one, because I don't know if that's going to be sufficient.
That's what's real talk, as Chuck says. The problem is, I know I'm telling the truth, but the way things are in the context, it looks like I'm guilty.
Yeah.
And
He is
I want to
guilty.
be as honest as
What the fuck? Have you guys seen the Google Drive? Oh my god, I wish I didn't. He's got the fucking ugliest fucking. I didn't know. I had to look. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I realized it was his dick. It was fucking gross.
that's possible. No,
Well, that's a good start.
poured out my blood and. Pardon me?
No, that's a good start. So what would be the second question that you were concerned about?
Fuck.
I think that's the main thing. I mean, everything else is going to be
Well, there has
humiliating.
there has to be.
embarrassing.
Well, then that's it. What is your biggest concern at all? Is it that is it further humiliation? What is it that worries you the most? Because you've already done stage one, which was the apology. So what is it that worries you most about this next part when you're going to get on with mini syllables? And I'm sure she's going to ask you some questions that are hard to answer. And you know that shying away from those would probably be the worst thing to do. So let's ease you into that. So give me some examples of...
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Give me some examples of questions that, are going to be hard to answer. Are there certain people that you don't want to be addressed? Or was there anyone that you feel was maybe left out of the apology that you would want to address with her while talking to her?
I don't think so. Honestly, as far as the work, first, if I can just give you an update. I got contacted by the social worker who's got the master's degree.
Okay.
He talked to me. I just finished scanning his documents and sending it back to them. So I am going full speed ahead ASAP.
What's he talking about?
So that was going to be is there going to be, an apology part 2 where you kind of show that, because we discussed it, and a lot of these guys on TCAP would say, well, I was looking into getting therapy, and maybe now I need to. What was the teacher?
Fuck, this guy sucks at everything he does.
Who drove the Corvette. He was talking about, oh yeah, well, maybe this is kind of the kick in the pants I need to push me that direction.
See, that should have been funny, but coming from him, it was just like, it made me want to punch myself in the face.
Never any follow-up with it. And if you watch,
if
you watch some of the, the Predator channels
Mickles.
on YouTube, there's one of the guys, I can't remember the name of it right now. The dude's name is Neo, but he said, like, you want me to take your video down? Contact me. He gives them all information on how they can seek help in their area, and he says, contact me after, and show me proof that you're trying to get help and you're taking this seriously, and I'll take the video down. So what would you want if someone was like, say, Mackenzie or Mac and Cheese or Mackenzie Cheese, whatever. If Mac and Cheese were to contact you and say, I'll remove the Google Drive if you do blank, what would it be? Like, what would you be willing to do? Would you make a second apology where you're showing the progress that you're making, or what are you willing? Because that's another question I'm sure you'll be asked: is what is the ultimate end game for you, and how would you like this to end?
I definitely like the idea of an update video sometime in the future saying, I have been getting counseling. These are the steps I've taken. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I would not shy away from that.
God, this guy's just trying to hold on, eh?
And so, you'd be willing to update the people on your...
But hold on to what, though? Like, didn't he, have only, 500 subscribers? Like, he didn't even have anything to begin with. Like, what is he trying to hold on to? Like, his friends? Like, his so-called friends? I don't get it. Like, he had nothing.
On your progress as you go through with that. And
he had nothing. He was nobody.
I'm sure people would appreciate that. What is something that you don't... what would it be? What would make you want to terminate the interview, or what's going to really turn you off if you get asked about it? What's off limits?
I don't think there's anything, which is very easy to say because I have no idea what's coming. Well, not no idea, but I would think of
any...
what she's...
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
From what she's told me, it sounds like she wants very much to be impartial and fair. It's not a shock and see where she's going to sandbag me. She's going to try to be as, let's say, Mr. Spock-ish, even while she, of course, has her own feelings. Of course. I really want to do this. I will tell you, I have been going through thoughts of completely terminating and closing my YouTube account.
Who cares?
I'm very glad I did the apology, and I'm glad I'm doing this interview. What happens after that, I would wish that it never gets talked about again, but that's not super realistic.
What do you guys think Joran is doing right now? Do you think he's wondering if they're still talking about it?
So if she asks you...
I would hope that people either leave me completely in my life and hate me, or reach out in a practical way.
If she asked you a hypothetical...
Not for it to be prolonged.
if she asked you a hypothetical, like, what would you be willing to do to make this all go away and never be spoken about again? Do you have an answer prepared for that? Because people love asking
I
hypotheticals.
absolutely don't.
I would like to ask Wes what like, you know what I mean? Like, if he wanted me to just leave him completely alone and never talk about him ever again, what would it take for that?
Oh yeah, you gotta get those hypotheticals. That's almost like being asked, you know,
Delete
where do
my
you see your-
channel. I wonder what would take for him to delete my channel and just delete everything and never come back from the community. Just be erased.
yourself in 5 years
Erase myself.
at a job interview. You've got to have the hypotheticals ready. So let's test that one.
I think he would. I bet you he would love that.
Jordan,
Like, yeah.
what would you be willing to give in order to make this all go away? If you could snap your fingers, and you know, for lack of a better term, make a wish and make it all disappear. What would you be willing to do?
Cool. Oh, I like that, Mikkel. That's cool. You know what's weird? My son, my youngest son, I named him Michael for Michael. Not because, yeah, it's weird because everybody's like, oh, Michael Jackson, and I'm like, no, Michael, like the archangel Michael. So I named my youngest son after your Mikkel. So yeah, that's how you say it, Mikkel. Cool. Thank you for the very meaningful information. I appreciate you.
I haven't thought of that. The main thing I've thought about is counseling so I can change myself. So in future, I treat everybody the way they should be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Basic human decency.
Yeah, that's not really an answer to the question. That sounds kind of like a candy.
I don't have an answer.
Well, that's why we're doing
really
this, Jordan. That's why we're doing this, so you can come up with an answer. I you know, like, what would you be, you know, if that question is asked, you can't say, well, I'm going to counseling. It really does sound like a canned answer.
I haven't.
I hate that sigh he does.
All right, well, Jordan,
I haven't thought past today.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this right now. You know, I'm trying to help you out here. So, if she asks you that question, what would your answer be? Because just going to counseling isn't going to make it go away and any of those other things. I know you mentioned, you know, not wanting to get rid of your YouTube channel, and you know that's understandable. What is your plan with that? What if that was the hypothetical, Jordan? Would you, if you knew that deleting your channel would make this all go away, would you do it? Your answer would be what?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
And deleting all and never having another channel, you know, getting rid of the music channel, just completely being gone from YouTube. Jordan, would you trade that for making this all go away?
That would suck incredibly. I would hate to do it, but I'd do it.
Okay, then let's
what an idiot.
Let's practice another
Wrong answer,
question.
man. Wrong answer. There's no right answer for that. There's no right answer
about
for
this
anything.
one, Jordan, why would you think after the things that you've done that you would be able to come back to a community that actively trolls and hates on people who sexualize children?
See, like, I would ask him the same question, but replace that word with vulnerable women. You know what I mean? Because that pisses me off, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was sick, man. She was just had surgery. Unless she was lying, then I'll be mad. But you know what I mean? Like, she was, you know, when you have surgery, you're weak. I've never personally had any kind of surgery, but that's my understanding that, you know, like, after surgery, you're supposed to be, what's that word? Recuperating, right? Not fucking traveling half fucking across the country and then getting your fucking ass kicked out because you changed your mind. You don't want to fuck the guy when you fucking meet him in person because he's super ugly. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think.
You don't think? I don't. What does that mean?
Pardon
like
me.
A statement or?
No. It is. If you already know me.
I don't.
But I don't think that they should want me around or welcome me with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't proved myself to have the right integrity. I have no problem with people who dislike me for the good reasons I've given them to, not trust me.
Okay. All right. And I don't want to take too much of your time because I know you guys are supposed to get on the phone in 10 minutes here. But another question that may come up is, now that there are comparisons being made between you and Lauren Armstrong, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Again, I was asking you that question.
Wow, I actually have an answer for that one.
Oh, perfect. Let's hear it.
My answer is I want to be as unlike Lauren Armstrong as humanly possible.
Well, let me interrupt you there. Lauren wants to be unlike Lauren Armstrong as well. No one wants to be that.
Correct.
So I would work on that.
I bet you Lauren Armstrong doesn't want to be West Most, so I guarantee you.
On that intro a little bit, because
Be
then
like,
you
fuck
don't want,
West Most.
Lauren doesn't want to be a liar. He just needs to figure out why. Lauren doesn't want to be a lot of things. He doesn't want to smoke. He just needs to blah blah blah. So I would work on that opening a little bit. But yeah, continue. So let's ask the question again. And again, I'm many syllables. Jordan, now that comparisons are being made between you and Lauren Armstrong, what are your thoughts on that? Looking back at your old content, of course, what are your thoughts on that now?
I think there were times where I was way too close to thinking and acting like Lauren.
Like, this is so stupid,
and I want to do my very best.
You actually think this matters?
To change and get counseling, and most importantly, not run away from.
Like, the way they're like, it's kind of cool, I guess, right? Because it's like the way they're making it seem is like he's gonna be on 60 Minutes, you know what I mean? And meanwhile, nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? They're just fucking trolling him. They're just pretty much they're kicking him in the ass on the way out at this point.
Responsibility and to take blame, stuff that Lauren has never done. That's the best way I know of to not be like Lauren, is to admit there's a problem, to face it head on, take responsibility, and do the hard work to change.
All right, and let's do one more before you hop off here to get on that call. Now, you brought up your Christian upbringing in your apology. Can you explain why that was relevant?
Who fucking claim that shit. I hate when people claim their religion when they're fucking talking about anything, especially when they get caught doing something bad. Because when you, like, for example, I'm gonna use Jordan, whatever he said about Christianity, all he's doing is just dragging Jesus' name across the fucking mud. Fucking Jesus Christ didn't fucking die on the cross and forgive mine and your sins so you can fucking pull him out of the fucking bag whenever you're fucking get caught fucking liking pictures of little girls, you fucking piece of shit. Holy shit.
Be any people who identify.
I think Jesus is cool though. I like Jesus.
As Christian or religious in any way would take offense to that.
I don't think they would take. I haven't contemplated a way that they would take offense to that.
Well, maybe by saying,
Sorry, Mikkel, I'm sorry if you're still here.
kind of like how Lauren was raised by Ma. You were saying I was raised by Christ, so I should have known better. But maybe some people will look at using religion in an apology video as a kind of a cop out, or I maybe feel sorry for me, or you can relate to me because I'm a religious person, and is that going to be your next step? Like, well, I've accepted Jesus or Vishnu or whoever into your life, and now you're going to be this better person. So what would your answer be to that, regarding people and being raised religiously?
Yeah. I have... Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask if you thought maybe that wasn't the best idea for the apology video to include that. Or...
Oh, boy, I don't know. I don't know. I do dislike people who name check Jesus or anyone else. It's like, see, because obviously the predator is like, no, I could not have done this. I worship blah, blah, blah. But I just wanted to give people my background and how I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
And I was foolish to ignore the great advice I was given.
Well, I would ask this: if you were able to ignore that and sexualize high school girls and below, would you say you were ever actually religious, or were you maybe playing religious?
I was. I've changed quite a bit over the past 20 years. In some ways good, in some ways not.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very, very super religious up till at least 25, and I still have parts of me that are spiritual. For what it's worth, you personally, I've been praying quite a bit today, yesterday.
Well, that that timeline when you're saying until 20 years ago or whatever, is that going to match up to things that are going to be found online?
Yes.
Yeah, so everyone will see that there was nothing inappropriate or untoward towards women or genie fan fiction or anything like that written prior to kind of when you broke away from your religious ideals and teachings.
Well, the two timelines are exactly the same, so that is absolutely true, because I didn't even get online the first time till 1997, and within a year of that, I was out of the church.
Oh, okay.
Probably got kicked out for fucking
Well, that's probably
masturbating in the bathroom or something.
All in itself, so maybe you should.
You got caught jerking off in a bathroom and you got kicked out.
Consider that in the future for content, along with the fasting stuff. And then one last one. What would you rate if you had to rate? Because I've heard this asked before. Looking back over the last 16 hours or so, if you had to rate the apology video, what would you give it today?
I would give it a 9.
Okay. And that's on the scale of 1 to 10?
Yes.
All right.
Now, my original one, without your help, much lower.
Okay.
But the one I put out at the end where I really...
So you really left it all, left it all on the field, like I said. Your coach wouldn't be yelling at you because you left some out there. You put it all on the field.
No.
All right.
Wow, I actually have something to be happy about. Yes, I'm happy with it.
No, yeah, absolutely should be happy about that. And do you have a joke or anything like that to lighten the mood, or if one's asked for it, you have anything at all to give? Because you are a comedian, so
that's a great one. I had 2 quotes, but honestly, I was like, what if I start with a joke and people think I'm not taking it seriously?
I think a joke is a great idea. Do you have one ready?
Okay. I was going to do 2. I was going to do what should happen to me, maybe sent to an island.
Oh, that's perfect. What's the other one?
Of course you like that one, because it's
Palumbo,
stupid.
she says how I feel. I go, I relax.
I say you open with the Anthony Palumbo and close with the Sent to an Island.
Okay.
I think you're ready. Now get out there and play ball.
What a stupid thing to say.
All right, yeah,
By a stupid man.
Let's plan to talk after to see how you feel after the interview, and then get on with your day and work on those improvements.
Thank you, Wes.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right.
How many more videos are there? I don't know. I think there was like 4 or 5. I'm thinking I'm going to listen to that stream that they're talking about with Babs. I want to see what she asked him. Or hear what she asked him. Yeah.
We are finally at the end. This was the last call with Jaron, a few hours after his interview with Many Syllables. Joran rates his performance, the performance of Many Syllables, and makes plans for his future. Will he be making a comeback? Once again, Westmost is a troll in this call. If that is not your thing, please skip this video.
Please. No troll.
The date was July 7th, 2020. The time was 4 p.m.
Harmless. My baby's harmless.
Hey, how did it go?
Very good, considering. Very, very good, actually.
Well, that's good. Was anything new uncovered? Was she able to, shake anything loose that maybe you hadn't been fully transparent with before that's really going to assist people?
I don't think so. There were a few questions she asked me that's like, wow, that's something I haven't thought about at all. But a lot of the questions, she said, why specifically did you comment the way you did on
Whoops.
Molly's? And I was just like, there was actually a moment of, duh, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
But we went through, she was pretty thorough. She didn't ask me, would you take your channel down if that would help people. She did say, were you going to make more comments going forward? I said, I've been concentrating the last few days just on the apology video and this interview.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I've given no real thought to that. But she did not shy away from going deep, and I did not shy away either.
Okay.
The whole thing was actually done in only about hour 15 tops.
Oh, she's good.
She's very good, and I didn't, allow me a small joke here, Wes. I did not blame things on Amanda James and mac and cheese.
Oh, well, that's always good. There was no Amanda James mac. How about meatballs?
No delicious meatballs.
There's enough meatballs in that Google Drive, right? That was a little joke. So, how would you, if you had to rate her, 1 to 10, what would you give her?
Her skills?
Yeah, as far as the interview, what would you give her skills?
Ooh, I'll say an 8 or 9. Probably a 9 would be more accurate. She was very good.
What would have made her a 10?
Ooh, probably rather minute stuff. Like she lost her place a couple times. Once I asked her to repeat a question and stuff. But yeah, she's really good. She stuck with me as far as being impartial. I never felt as though she had an agenda. At the same time, she was direct, but not overly pressuring when it came to the difficult questions.
That's good.
And a couple times I'm like, okay, that question was long. Please cut it into 2 questions or rephrase it. And she did that.
So a strong 9.
It was fun. Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead. What were you saying?
It would be absolutely incorrect to refer to it as fun, but I think if she interviewed me on a completely different subject, it'd be enjoyable for me.
Did you
She's got real skills.
apologize to her personally?
Yes, I did, before and during.
That's good. How would you rate yourself during the interview?
At least an 8.
Okay,
What's
so
with all that fucking rating, man?
what
Who
made you a
cares?
10?
Fucking be funny, do something.
I'm probably the only thing is more preparation
Original.
as far as
Don't be so lame.
because I really did not think a lot about a variety of questions so that I could have in my mind. I realized there were some things semi-philosophical, I happened maybe 3 times, but where I'm like, wow, I haven't considered this specific thing, like the Molly thing, at all. That's a damn good question. But
now that she asked you that, so I know so you're saying you'd rate yourself about an 8, and she was a 9. So that's good. That's a 17 out of 20 overall. That's a more than passing grade. But now that you've had a chance to look back, are there any apologies that you made to maybe Tiffany Lockhart, Molly? I don't know who else you did apologize to. Or were there any of those that you would redo, or would those still stand as is?
They would stand. Oh, one thing she said that was fucking brilliant. She says, how about the people who defended you as far as helping take the video down and stuff? Do you want to let people know that they absolutely were not in collusion? I says they acted completely out of ignorance of the situation, and I apologize to them specifically, the people who I know
who was
had
that?
the video reported. Danny G, TCAP Recipes. I may have forgotten Euro. Rhoda, I think.
Oh, what role has has Euro 'Cause I know he seems to be pretty. I know you haven't been reading comments or anything, but it's good that you did mention those people, because that was going to be one of the things I didn't want to bring up prior to the interview. But those are the people who were probably feeling the most hurt in all this. Having comments made about you. I mean, the thing said about Molly was horrible, and that's what that's going to do, is make less people willing to show themselves on cam, and less people are gonna shrink back, because no one wants to be judged like that or treated like that. But the people who defended you, who in streams were defending you and talking about this troll, and then they felt like they were missed on the apology. So it's good that you did that was brought up to you. And why do you think maybe you forgot that and you left them out originally?
I was so concentrated on people that I had hurt, as far as objectifying them and stuff, that I didn't even say, hey, wait a minute. People took down that video that shouldn't have been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Because they thought, as I originally thought, that it was just the troll part 2. And I clarified in the interview that there were definitely more than one person. I used the term whistleblower. I don't know if I used it consistently, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that there was someone at an earlier time, because it had been going on for a while, where they would go into live streams, impersonate me, insult me.
Okay. Did you open or close with a joke like we had talked about?
I did not.
Oh, did you change your mind?
I mentioned that to her, and she thought it would be a bad idea, that people would think that I was taking things lightly, not being serious.
That's funny.
Okay.
And I tended to agree.
Well, I know when we first spoke on Friday, your idea was to do an apology with some jokes. So I didn't know if maybe adding some a bit of lightheartedness to it would have helped you in the process. But she thought it would be a bad idea, and you went with it. So that's how do you feel about that now? Do you wish you would have done that joke?
The next call is the
No,
stream
I
with
think she was right.
Babs.
Okay.
I think I might have it.
Didn't want any white people to think, oh, there he is, a joke, not taking it serious, because quite a few people would feel like that. So.
Okay. Now, I know you said earlier that your apology video, hold on, Alexa, off. You said that your apology video, you would have rated it that a 9.
Okay, yeah, it's here.
And I know you haven't looked at any of the comments.
I'm done with that. I'm fucking
now that
sick and tired of hearing that fucking lisp for over an hour. Fucking making me sick. Let's listen to this one now. Interview with Jordan Comedy. Many syllables. Interview with many syllables.
Hey everyone. This video is an interview I had with a YouTuber that was recently exposed engaging in predatory behavior towards women and children that goes by the name of Jordan Comedy. I'm going to give a very brief summary of the situation to the best of my understanding. Sometime just prior to the 4th of July weekend, comments from a user named Mac and Cheese began appearing on TCAP community members' videos and live streams. The comments appeared to be a warning that someone in the community was engaged.
Stop. There's what's it called, stuff you need to see, so I'm gonna put it up so you guys can see it. Here, I'm gonna stop playing for a bit and I'm gonna listen to it.
Hey everyone. This video is
I'm gonna listen to it with you guys. Let me see. Okay. Here, I'll make this small, like this, right? And then... there we go.
interview I had with a YouTuber that was recently exposed engaging in predatory behavior towards women and children that goes by the name of Jordan Comedy. I'm going to give a very brief summary of the situation to the best of my understanding. Sometime just prior to the 4th of July weekend, comments from a user named Mac and Cheese began appearing on TCAP community members' videos and live streams. The comments appeared to be a warning that someone in the community was engaging in inappropriate and predatory behavior towards women. People in the community began talking. No one had been specifically named in these warning comments, but there seemed to be a general consensus among community members that the comments must have been referring to Joran. On July 4th, Mac and Cheese released a video that confirmed everyone's suspicions. The video contained screenshots from a conversation that took place between a catfish and Joran, along with various social media interactions of his. The video was reported and removed so quickly that many people didn't even have a chance to see it in its entirety. Joran adamantly denied any wrongdoing and claimed that this was all just the work of a troll that catfished him, who was now exposing private sexual conversations he had with another consenting adult. It wasn't long before a Google Drive link began circulating that contains all of the screenshots that were in the video, along with other evidence that contradicted Joran's claim of no wrongdoing. It turns out that Mac and Cheese wasn't a troll. They were a whistleblower. Several people came forward and shared uncomfortable experiences and unwanted advances from Joran.
If you guys ever come across the Google Drive, there's dick pics in there, and it's fucking gross. You'll be like, what the fuck is that? And you'll be like, what the fuck? And you'll be like, oh, that's what that is.
There is also evidence that he has an extreme fetish for genies and harem girls. And while under normal circumstances, his personal fetishes would not be an issue or even anyone's business, this particular fetish revealed some glaring red flags. Joran had previously enlisted a female community member to play a role as a genie in what he called a comedic sketch. As it turned out, the role was extremely sexual in nature, and he had conned her into unwittingly role-playing a sexual fantasy for him. This wasn't an isolated incident. Other women in the community were used and objectified in similar ways. Screenshots show several instances of him objectifying and sexually harassing various women online in genie-themed costumes. And to everyone's horror, he had also liked photos of young children in revealing clothing and positions from genie-themed dance recitals and performances. After a lot of resistance, when confronted with this evidence, Joran admitted that everything that was exposed is true. The community's reaction was understandably shock, anger, and disgust. This man had infiltrated a community that is predicated on exposing and criticizing sexual predators and people who victimize children. And yet here he was engaging in that exact same behavior while exploiting its members.
When I first started making content on my Milena YouTube channel, Joran was one of the very first people who came on and supported me. I noticed that a lot of his lawnisms were very, very over-sexualized, but I chose not to pay attention to any of that because that is how we joke in the community. However, the frequency of these comments made me feel very uncomfortable. But again, I chose not to call him out just in case I didn't want to ostracize my other supporters or their sense of humor. It wasn't until I found out that he was making content of his own on his own channel. And in his streams, he was making a lot of comments about the women in the community. However, it seemed like a lot of the comments he had about the women was just for the fact that they were women, not as contributors. Just the way he spoke about himself, the way he talked about being alpha male and how he's so sexually successful. And I attributed a lot of that behavior very similar to Lorne. I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid of being a bully. I didn't want to be labeled as someone who was mean or a gatekeeper or anything of the sort. I didn't want to be that person who was better than. But the following comment was what made me feel very uncomfortable when he said openly in the stream, "Does this make your nipples hard?"
What?
I did not want to say anything.
See, that's fucked up, man.
Say anything negative about him because I was arguing with myself, thinking that maybe he was just a socially awkward person. He had something odd about him.
Like I say that to guys sometimes, but not to another girl.
I was afraid of being mean, And
Well, I said to a guy, but
look
not
what
a girl.
happened. I hope he doesn't come back. He doesn't deserve this community.
I feel my biggest problem with Joran is he came in and exploited this community without understanding this community.
I hope he was serious when he told me he was getting help. Because not only do the people around him deserve that out of him, but he deserves it too. But I need him to stop liking comments on his confession, and I need him to delete his channel because he's not welcome back in this community.
Who is that? I never heard
I
of
don't
her.
know. If a predator was looking for a hunting ground, I can see how this community would attract them. I met so many sexual abuse survivors in the community, and from the outside looking in, it may look like a pretty fertile hunting ground for predators to infiltrate. He ingratiated himself with his grooming. What he didn't realize was that each one of these victims are getting stronger every day, and that his insignificant presence was just a blip on the radar. These victims know they have an army behind them. Joran clearly didn't.
It's because of people like you. Many of us are afraid to show their faces and their bodies on YouTube. Just because a woman is nice to you doesn't mean it's an open invitation to flirt with her. I hope you
Amen.
get the help that you needed years ago.
You go, girl. I'm not
What
being
really
condescending.
pisses me off about
I'm
the
agreeing with
Joran
her.
situation is the pic of the little girl on Instagram. It's just a mom or a dad is proud of their 8-year-old, 9-year-old daughter.
This guy's jerking
who
off
did
to
a
it.
gymnastics routine in a genie leotard. She's doing a split, and there's a genie lamp in front of her. And they upload that video to their Instagram. They tag it with genie, and here comes Joran along looking for young genie girls to get off to, sees this picture, and then likes it. And it's the most innocent little picture of a cute little girl, and he's using it to get his jollies.
It's crazy to think that he has been acting this way for years and had no idea that what he was doing was predatory. He was so quick to pass off the catfish as a troll that I'm not sure he really realizes what he has done. I think his apology was just him trying to sweep this under a magic rug so he can continue to prey on women and children online.
On July 6th, Joran released an apology video and agreed to do an interview with me to address some of the questions that the community had. Initially, he wanted to be able to review the questions ahead of time and do a dry run rehearsal. I didn't feel that this was appropriate, and in the interest of integrity and authenticity, we agreed to record the interview without any rehearsals or previews of the questions.
She say dry
The
rehearsal?
following interview is intended to give the community some answers and is in no way intended to defend or advocate for Joran or his behavior.
I'm going to dive right in and start asking these questions. I just want you to answer them as openly and honestly as possible.
Okay.
All right. It's been exposed that you've liked pictures of young children dressed up and dancing as genies. And it's also been exposed that you have a kink or fetish for genies. Do you think that that behavior is acceptable?
Not at all. Indefensible.
Did you think it was acceptable when you were doing it?
The lie I told myself was I'm putting a like on the picture of a little girl. I'm quote unquote supporting her.
Did you like pictures of girls other than genies? Or was it usually just genie content that maybe you came across?
You're referring to children?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, there were none others.
Okay. Have you ever interacted with anyone underage online, whether they initiated contact or you felt it was innocent or not?
High school girls, yes.
Do you care to discuss any of that, or can you give some insight on that? Was it? Did you feel it was innocent? Was it a were you being flirtatious, or how would you describe it?
Let me think. I've been doing this so long that I want to make sure that I can. I have definitely commented on videos. I've definitely commented on pictures in a flirtatious way. As far as going any farther than that, I have not. But to me, that's bad enough, and I very much don't want to, take the first step on a path that leads to something really bad. And
Sure.
I think my foot is already on that path by me even doing that.
Of course. So are you saying have there ever been any private conversations with these high school age girls, or has there ever been back and forth in those comments, or has it mostly been you making a singular comment and not getting a response?
It's mostly been singular comments.
Has there ever been any kind of, private conversation with someone who was underage?
In my 20s, yes.
Was that a frequent thing? Did you feel it was wrong at the time, or was it more so, I feel like we're close in age and maturity level, or do you want to elaborate on that at all?
I definitely felt like we were close maturity-wise.
Okay. Are you sexually attracted to, or have you ever been sexually aroused by children?
No.
Not even when they're in, the genie costume. And I'm asking that just because, that is a very specific,
That's
a
why
lot
he
of times with
jerked off
kinks
to
and
those
fetishes,
pictures.
it's more so around the object than it is the person. And so if you were viewing children who are dressed up in these genie outfits, it would be reasonable for someone to assume that you would be sexually aroused by that. So are you saying you were never sexually aroused by any of the pictures of the children?
Correct.
Lie.
Okay. Why did you like those pictures? I know you said it was the lie you told yourself was that you were supporting them.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was anything beyond that? Do you think that it is your genie fetish so overwhelming that you're drawn to that, even whether it's a child or not?
Gotcha. I would be scrolling through Instagram, searching specifically for that. And when it was women, I would absolutely say something inappropriate. And never with children.
Did you ever feel anything inappropriate with the children, whether you acted on it or said anything or not?
No.
Have you ever fantasized about anything involving children or viewed any type of child pornography, even if it's not young children?
That's very
even
lie.
if it's, older teenagers?
No.
Lie.
If you had to guess, how many photos of underage girls do you think that you've liked or commented on, inappropriately or otherwise?
Too many to count. That's what that means.
As far as liking,
Lie.
that was actually pretty rare.
Okay. Have you ever saved photos of underage girls
Yes.
at all? And even not just underage girls, have you ever saved photos of people who didn't know that you were saving their photos?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you deleted all of those at this point?
No.
Everything is gone.
Completely from your
No.
hard drive? No, there's no record of it whatsoever. You can't access it anymore.
They're not
Nothing
in his
whatsoever
drive,
on my hard drive.
He has a stash one.
When you saved those pictures of people without their knowledge, did
They're
you
not
feel
in his
like you were
hard drive,
violating
but
them in any way?
He still has them.
I didn't. At the time, I absolutely did not.
Do you feel now that you were?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you believe that you respect women?
No.
Not enough. Not enough. I've had this dichotomy in my head where I'm a good person because I have female friends, because I'm good to them, but it's been a very split in my mentality where I'd be like, it's okay for me to quote unquote flirt, which wasn't flirting at all. It was sexual harassment.
Fucking moron.
But would you say, do you feel respect for women? I understand that your actions certainly contradict that, but do you feel that you respect women in general?
No.
Like, do you feel that you have feelings of respect towards women?
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
And I'll just point this out because I'm sure someone else may hear this. When I asked you about if you respect women, you said, well, I feel like I kind of lied to myself and said I did because and you're talking about you. You're not talking about how you feel about women.
Gotcha.
So do you feel that you respect women in general?
I definitely believe that they're equal. I've expressed in the past admiration from certain people, for certain people in the community, and quite a bit in my real life. Genuine admiration.
Sure. Do you think that all women, do you view them solely as sex objects?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had conversations with women that weren't sexually charged, or is there always some level of flirtation there?
I have definitely had conversations with women that were not sexually charged.
Would you say those are frequent or few and far between?
In general, and again, this is me explaining and not excusing my mentality. But in my mind, oh, she's married. I don't do that. Oh, she's in a serious relationship. Oh, I don't do that.
Have you ever been called out or confronted for inappropriate behavior with women before?
In person, no. Online, I've definitely had women call me out for comments I've made about them.
Sure. Do you want to elaborate on any of that?
I've
Do you want
definitely
to give an example? Or?
I've had times on Instagram where I've said something sexually suggestive, and a woman is just like, "Don't treat me like a piece of meat."
Get a life, you
Or
loser.
called me a name that I deserved, and in general, express repulsion by my words and actions.
Of course.
Sure. Has it ever gone beyond that, or mostly just direct responses to something you said, and it doesn't go any further than that?
Well, I'm 44.
Correct, yeah, just direct responses.
I think.
Okay. Have you had successful relationships and friendships with women in the past?
Yes, many times.
Do you find that communication is sometimes an issue with you and women?
No.
Have you ever had the police involved because of your behavior with women or any issues at work?
That's a good question.
How did you find out about the TCAP community?
I was, do you want a long answer or a short answer on that one?
Whatever is the truth.
Okay. I originally found the channel called Down the Rabbit Hole, which got me into Chris Chan. And from there, I started researching Chris Chan. I found Bay Shaman. I had never watched the original To Catch a Predator. I didn't have a TV at the time. I had heard about the show. I saw Bay Shaman's videos about him, parody videos, The Mask, what have you. And I was curious. I listened to a little bit of the holy pornography, lost interest, and then many months later, I found a channel called Danknet that did a great comprehensive history of the Church of God. And then after that, I resubscribed to Bay Shaman. And through Danknet and other things he discussed, the TCAPocalypse, I became very interested, listened to the entire holy pornography, and from then I was hooked.
I should do that. I haven't done that in a long time.
Do you think that some of the sexual content in the community, even though a lot of it's repulsive, do you think that attracted you to it at all?
Say again, please.
Do you think that some of the sexual content, the nature of the community, a lot of the content making fun of Lorne and otherwise, there's a lot of, sexual content. Did that appeal to you at all?
No.
Why did you join the TCAP community? What appealed to you about it then?
I really like the idea that I could express myself comedically. Lorne, I hope this doesn't sound insensitive, but Lorne is the gift that keeps on giving for a content creator, because one of my first thoughts with Lorne is, what is wrong with this guy? And the fact that it was just infinite material comedically, because there are so many things to make fun of him about. Uh-huh. And obviously him being so quotable. So for me, it was very much the feelings I had with Chris Chan, which is it's a quote-unquote lolcow.
Okay.
And TCAP has always fascinated me, because I would just look at these guys and go, what's wrong with them? Why do they not have some sort of interior regulatory thing where they go, what I'm doing is disgusting. I'm going after 12, 13, 14, whatever age girls. And it's always been the psychological part that's fascinated me with, is like and yes, some of them are obviously hilarious in their ineptitude, the way they dress, whatever. There's absolutely that. Mm-hmm. But there's been a lot of what's wrong with these guys, and that's just drawn me.
Sure. Do you recognize that a lot of your behavior has been extremely similar to Lorne and these people?
Yes. I have, pardon me.
No, go ahead, please.
In the past couple days, when I really looked at the Google Drive and the contents, and I saw everything I had done over the years in such a wide variety, my first thought is, oh my God, this is way too Lorne-like.
Oh my god.
And what's helped me in general as a person, as I think it helps everyone, is being able to look at someone who is the best example of what not to be in a human being. And I don't want to even be slightly like him. And I was a lot more like him than I ever wanted to be.
Sure. There were a lot of parallels there. And do you think that maybe your hatred of Lorne might actually be because there are things that he reminds you of yourself, things that you don't like about yourself?
I would say no. As I said before, and I'll say again, I was very much excusing my behavior, thinking it wasn't a problem, making bullshit excuses for my behavior.
Sure.
Complete bullshit.
Did you view the TCAP community as an appropriate place to target women for your own sexual gratification or flirtation?
I have always been a flirtatious person, and I absolutely started right away flirting with members of the community.
Sure. Did you feel that was appropriate?
Again, going back to my mentality is if they flirt back, it's okay. Now I say, wait a minute, if someone's not flirting back, they could be anything from angry, humiliated, worst of all, expecting some sort of retaliation from me. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not right at all. My thinking is fucked.
So would you say then when you did it at the time, you felt that you didn't think it was inappropriate, but now you do?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe your thought process when you took advantage of Tiffany Lockhart by having her unwittingly fulfill a kink fantasy role play for you?
Okay. So I had written the sketch that she enjoyed, and she said, all right, I'll do that. I very much made the character sexy. And I said, well, you know, it's going to go good comedically because if I can just, is it okay if I bring up some of the thought process about writing? Or
Sure.
do you think it would be?
Sure.
Okay.
No, you bring up whatever I mean, it's important that you're honest here. So if that's part of your truth, then tell
What
it.
a moron.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So when I was
Okay,
writing,
Elvis.
I'm like, okay, I had seen, obviously I've watched so much Genie media my entire life. I'm like, okay, if she's one of these more modern ones where she acts like, what do you want, blah, 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 it's not going to have an effect on the audience. But I wrote her that way to make people watching it have a twinge of jealousy. Because if people are emotionally involved in anything, especially comedy, they get more involved. So I'm like, she has to be written too good to be true. And so I wrote her as too good to be true, comedically. Did I make her sound ideal and ideal to me? Yes. Absolutely. Did I make her say things that were very sexy to me? Absolutely, yes. And she had no idea that what she was recording was stuff that I found arousing. She had no idea at any time.
Right. Are you saying that it wasn't your intention for her to be arousing to you, that it just sort of happened, that when you gave her these roles to choose from, we spoke previously, and I believe you said you gave her 3 potential
Correct.
roles to choose from.
Yes.
And so are you saying that it was not your intention at the time to have her do something that would give you some sexual gratification?
I'm a little confused. Are you saying that I didn't write the role specifically for her?
No, what I'm asking is, when I asked that question, you explained that, it was really more so about, the community would find it funny and you were trying to appeal to an audience. So it sort of sounded like you were saying that it was just coincidence that you had her fulfill this Genie role. So when you asked her to do this, did you intend to get sexual gratification from it?
I knew that certain things that were going to be said by a woman was going to be a turn on for me.
Sure. And had you, prior to asking her to do this, had you expressed to anyone, that you found her voice very sexy?
No.
You had not expressed that to anyone?
Correct.
Have you expressed that since she did the genie role?
Well, this is the first real uncomfortable question. I've never found Tiffany's voice as attractive as other members of the community have.
Wow.
So if there was a screenshot of you telling someone that you found her voice extremely sexy, would you be surprised by that?
Yes.
Because I'll be honest with you, I've seen it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to blindside you with anything, but I've seen you telling someone that you find her voice very sexy.
Thank you. I definitely find what she said to be very sexy.
Sure. I believe that this screenshot actually took place prior to her fulfilling the genie role. And again, I'm not trying to pin you in a corner here, but I want us to maintain honesty and integrity here.
I appreciate that.
Prior to you asking her to fulfill this genie role, you had expressed to someone that you found her voice very sexy. So that being said, do you think that it may have been more targeted for your sexual gratification than even you're willing to realize yourself at this point?
Yes.
Do you understand and accept that when you did that to her, you denied her the ability to consent to what it essentially amounted to a sexual act for you?
Absolutely.
Did you realize that at the time?
I like mini syllables. She asks really good questions.
No. Telling myself lies again.
Sure. When she did this for you and it clearly provided you with some sexual gratification, did you feel it was wrong at all at the time, or did you just feel like, oh, this is no big deal, as long as she doesn't know, no one's going to get hurt?
I was just thinking of the reception of the video, people enjoying it, me getting more likes, comments, what have you.
Sure. But the sexual part, because I think we've pretty much established that you did get sexual gratification from this act that Tiffany did, right?
Yes.
So as you got that sexual gratification, was there ever a point where you felt, hey, I'm wrong for doing this, or this is kind of skeevy of me? Or were you just like, what people don't know doesn't hurt them?
At some point after I did it and it was uploaded, I absolutely did feel that what I did was wrong.
Sure.
Because she's been nothing but a kind friend to me, and I was using her.
Absolutely. Moving on from Tiffany, there's a video that Molly had put out, and it was a non-sexual video, and in that video you made a comment where you timestamp a point where you felt that her breasts were bouncing. What was the purpose of objectifying her body on that video? Like, what did you hope to achieve by that comment?
Nothing positive at all. Nothing positive. It was extremely creepy. Extremely objectifying.
Stupid fucking
and absolutely no excuse me, there's the tongue tightness. Absolutely no way to treat anyone, especially someone who I've considered a friend.
Sure, absolutely. But what was your intention when you typed that out? What was the purpose? What did you think would come of it? Why?
It was a quote unquote joke.
No, okay, so I think he was flirting. I think that's what he would call flirting, not a joke, right?
Meaning I'm not going to defend it in any way. It was wrong.
Sure, of course. It's completely established that that's wrong. I don't think anyone could deny that. But I think what I'm trying to get at more is, what was your thought? Why? What did you get out of saying that? Because it's one thing,
yes,
to watch it and feel that, right?
Yeah.
What compelled you to A, tell people you were thinking that, and B, draw other people's attention to that specific moment of the video? What do you think? Did you feel that maybe if other people joined in, you would feel a little bit less creepy? And I don't know if that's a thought process at all. I'm just throwing it out there. What do you think the purpose of drawing other people's attention to it and drawing attention to it at all was? Are you excited by, telling someone that you're checking them out? Or again, are you trying to bring other people in to make you feel better about it so you don't feel like you're, this lone creeper? Or what do you think your thought process there was?
Yeah. That's an excellent question that I haven't thought about at all. It wasn't to get other people's attention. I think Okay, I'm starting to actually shiver at this point in the interview. That's a good thing.
Quivering.
That's my conscience.
It's quivering.
I think I was quote unquote being flirty, which makes me shudder at the very thought that I thought that was flirty. Oh, she probably likes the attention.
Okay.
Ugh.
See,
Were you kind of hoping that maybe that would start up a little bit of a flirtatious rapport between the two of you, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that was almost sort of like a testing the waters pickup line.
Yes, absolutely.
In a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever shared pictures of community members that were sent to you with anyone?
I have.
No. Definitely, because anonymity has been so important to me.
Sure. Did you share pictures of the catfish with other people before you found out she was a catfish?
Yes.
So at that time, you thought that you were sharing private pictures of a community member because you didn't realize she was a catfish at that point, right?
Correct.
So, not to call you out here, but so when you say you'd never shared photos of community members, sure, you can play a semantics game and say, well, she turned out to be a catfish. But when you were under the impression that she was just a community member who had shared private photos of herself with you, you had shared those private photos, correct?
I had shared them. I think the reason why I just answered is because in my mind, I'm not thinking of her as a community member because she was so new or something, which is not really a good excuse, but I thought of her as just the catfish.
So do you think that women in the community are somehow entitled to more respect than women who are new to the community?
No.
So why? Why did you share those photos of her?
Bragging.
Just trying to beef up your bravado and look cool.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I sort of asked that is because, it's not quiet that this community is supposed to kind of be a safe place. There's a lot of people who come to our community who have been victims of sexual trauma, or just in general. A lot of women feel comfortable talking openly here. That's kind of the nature of the community, and the safe space is created, not just for women, for men too, for everyone. Do you realize that you've ruined that for some people, and all just because you wanted some sexual gratification?
Yes.
What do you feel about that?
My mentality, why it was okay, which it absolutely is not. My mentality is she started the conversation by immediately sending me a nude. No, that's not correct. That's not correct. The nudes came later. She sent me a picture. I'll share it with someone else, bragging, saying, hey, look, so-and-so, I have a groupie now, blah, blah, blah.
I see. But in general, not just with the catfish, do you realize that a lot of your behavior has stripped away some of the security of the safe place for a lot of people?
Yes.
How does that make you feel now?
Terrible. I was going to say let them down, but actually betrayal is a better word.
Sure.
Betrayed their trust.
Yeah, definitely. You feel terrible now. When did you shift from feeling like this is fine and to feeling terrible?
I would say the most accurate moment to pinpoint was just as a little background. So I originally thought this was just the troll. Oh, it's the troll is now gone from being in my live stream to this, which was absolutely wrong. That's at least two different people. Okay.
Because I say that because, this has been probably your whole life of you acting this way, right? And even after you were kind of confronted, you still sort of stuck to this. And you even, had people help defend you. So that I'm sort of leading into that and asking, when the shift, because, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to say, well, yeah, it's real easy after you're confronted and caught to say that you feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
Why did it,
The best thing I can tell you, my aha moment was when the contents of the drive was shared with me and I got to see everything and how many things there were over a number of years. It was just kind of like, as I said in the apology, all the walls I put in my head came down. I saw all my excuses and what I was doing to people and how I was treating them, and the enormity of it all hit me like a tidal wave. I'm like, oh shit, I'm bad.
Yeah.
I've been a complete asshole.
Yeah.
There was no running from that.
No, there definitely wasn't. But when this first came out, and I hope you don't mind me referencing our conversation, just again for the sake of integrity. When this first came out, I had initially asked you about it, and you claimed that like it was nothing. You had done absolutely nothing wrong. You're laughing at it because it's just a troll that was jealous of your popularity and how women flirt with you.
Yes.
What a playboy this guy
I
is.
understand that you say that's what you sort of believed at the time. However, when I was speaking to you, I was doing so from a very non-judgmental standpoint, and I was very politely saying, "But do you think there's any validity to what they're saying about your behavior at all?" And you were like, "Absolutely not," and you were completely trying to discredit them. Why is that?
In my mind, I absolutely thought that this was the same person who had been in my live streams and other people's live streams impersonating me for over a month. And I said, they're just trying a different tactic now. So I firmly believed that it was the same person trying a different tactic.
Wasn't somebody
Sure,
doing
that's
that
understandable.
to...
But, if Charlie Man...
Somebody was doing that to that new guy, the judge guy, wasn't there? That judge... He was only around for like a week, and you guys bullied him out of the fucking platform. Fucking assholes. He had good stuff. He was making some good stuff. I never been to his live streams, but he was complaining that somebody was impersonating him.
Manson says that I kick puppies, and that's still a true statement. It doesn't change the fact that I kick puppies, right? So I understand that you believed it was someone that was just trolling you and jealous of you, but what I'm asking is if you knew that some of what they were saying about your behavior was true, and there were people asking you, hey, is any of this true? Why were you so adamant about continuing to say, no, it's not true? And not only that, but go as far as to try to completely discredit them.
I was so much more worried about my reputation and avoiding humiliation than I was pursuing truth or trying to do the right thing. I was much more interested in damage control, getting rid of the video, flagging and reporting it. In the beginning stages, that's all I was really concerned with.
Sure.
That was my motivation.
I'm sure there's some very humiliating stuff there. I can understand wanting to get rid of that. But what about even privately with some of the people who, they were advocating for you even? Yeah. Or even myself, I definitely was never advocating for you at any point, but I feel that I was very fair with you.
Yes.
I was not judgmental, and I don't intend to just keep speaking about me. I'm only speaking about this because it's the only, contact that I have direct experience with. With you, I'll be honest with you, I've noticed some problematic behavior.
This girl sounds really smart. Many syllables? She sounds really smart.
With you before this even happened. You've noticed I'm often very, very, playful and talkative with a lot of people, but I had already prior to this kind of shied away from you because I got a little bit of a bad vibe. I hope that doesn't offend you.
You're not the first person to have told me that in the past weekend.
Sure. So when I came to you, I'll just be honest with you. My intention was, I had good intentions. I wanted to help you realize that, even if at that time I thought it was possibly a troll too. I didn't read all the content. But I was trying to see if maybe I could use the situation to help you understand that you make people uncomfortable. So I brought that up to you, and I'm like, well, do you think maybe you have some repetitive behavior that makes people uncomfortable? Do you think it's an odd coincidence that even before this troll said your name, everyone said, oh, you must be talking about Joran? And again, you very much so just shut that down. It's like, no, it's just got to be someone who's jealous. There's absolutely no truth to it. I mean, you clearly knew at the time, even if you didn't realize how bad your behavior was, you knew that there was some validity to what they were saying. Why not, at least privately, to maybe not me, but other people who you're closer to when they're asking you about this, why deny it so adamantly?
I think I was doing the equivalent of covering my ears and going, la, 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 I can't hear you.
Sure.
Very much a denial, not wanting to experience humiliation, loss of respect. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can understand that, and I'm sure other people can too, but why would you allow other people to come to your defense then? Why wouldn't you say, even if you didn't want to fully admit it, why wouldn't you just say, hey, I've got this, let me handle this, don't bring yourself into this? Because, I remember even you telling me something along the lines of, I'm not going to let this troll win because too many people have reached out and they have my back, and, I'm not going to let them down. You acted like you had some kind of obligation to them as your fans, is I believe what you said. So why on earth would you allow innocent people to come to your defense, knowing that at least even if you were not fully accepting at the time that your behavior was terrible, you knew some of it was true at the very least. Why would you allow innocent people to jump in and run to your defense and even help get the videos taken down?
The first day after the whistleblower revealed him or herself,
it was Kel Pill, right?
I knew there was a video. I did not watch it. I got 10 seconds. I think on a subconscious level, I'm like this. I was just running and hiding from it. So I was talking to my friends. I'm like, okay, it's the troll. I'm sure it's the same troll. Cranking up to the next level. Please report. And that was my only thought process. Later on, when I actually started thinking, I was just like, wait a minute, there's things that absolutely don't add up. That means this is a different person.
Sure. I guess where I get a little confused, and I'm sure other people would have that same question too, is again, even if you're in unless you were just in complete denial and you really thought you never had done anything wrong ever, it doesn't. I'm asking, why would you allow people to rush to your defense, knowing that there was at least a shred of validity to what was being said?
Stupid move.
I would say it was complete denial. Complete denial. And I didn't. It really was like a switch was flipped when I saw that drive. And I'm like, oh, this is real. What I've done is real. And the excuses I've used are bullshit. And that's when I'm like, oh.
In that, when you were allowing people to come to your defense, I'm gonna talk about Danny here, because she had your back. You manipulated her and others who considered you a friend into trying to cover this up. Get the video removed through no fault of their own. Now, some people may view them as someone who is either complacent in or assisting a predator in covering up his behavior. Do you want to clear some of that up and explain that they were in no way involved and that you completely misled them and that they absolutely would not have supported your behavior had they known the truth?
Absolutely. Anyone who may have done that, I'm not sure I can remember specifically, but I believe Danny G, TCAP Recipes, probably wrote his Chew Tootsie. Possibly, again, my memory, possibly Roy Me. Anyone who did that, none of them approved of the stuff I was doing. They all thought they were helping, or even knew about it. Not a one. There was no, I have this confidant and they know secretly what I'm. No. All of them acted out of complete ignorance of my behavior. And they all thought they were helping a friend. Yeah. And
just to be clear, that's also because you manipulated them into that too, by speaking to them and saying, yeah, this is all fake and they're, this person's a troll and help, right?
Yeah.
There was, not only did they not know, but they were also very specifically manipulated by you. Is that correct? Would that be a fair statement?
Yes. I have trouble saying just a blanket yes to that, because I did really think that this was the same troll part 2. But at the same time, I want to clear them of all association with what I've done, because they absolutely.
Sure. So when I say manipulation, even if you didn't really fully understand the extent of what you had done, I mean, intent, it doesn't always matter. There was very clear manipulation on your part, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
This is more so about, I think it's very important to exonerate these people. I think that most people understand what's going on now, but in case if there's one person out there who thinks Danny G or any of these people who were supporting you, were complacent in this and complicit in this
Emphatically,
in any way.
they were not.
Okay. Okay. I want to make sure that that's very clear.
Thank you.
Why did you ask the catfish if they were sexually aroused or attracted to predators, or about role play as these predators?
I believe the catfish mentioned it first about we started discussing To Catch a Predator. And I was curious if she found any of them handsome.
Sure. I believe it was something, I think you brought that up and asked if they were aroused by any of them. And then I think you went into some role play saying it was like a humiliation thing is what I read. But why do you think that, because from what I understood, I didn't see her initiate that. And I can go back and read and double check if we need to pause, but it looked to be initiated by you.
I think you do, because she was telling me that she was attracted to Lauren Armstrong and she wanted me to role play him in a sexual way.
Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, but I think that was after you asked her something like, I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question or something. And
right.
Just that very first initial question, I believe, was you. And again, we can pause and I can go check. But it doesn't really matter. The fact is you did engage in the conversation too. That seems like a very odd thing to ask someone. Why would you want to know if someone is attracted to or aroused by sexual predators?
I was curious if she found any of them handsome. That's about as far as my thought process went into that.
Sure. Do you know why you would want to know or care whether someone finds a sexual predator attractive? Because you have to admit that's kind of odd.
Yes.
It's not like, hey, do you find Brad Pitt attractive, or even the more gossipy, do you find anyone in the community attractive? That's a very odd. Why are you asking a woman if she's aroused by
really
or sexually attracted to a sexual predator?
To have in your head.
I don't know.
Why are you thinking like that, man? Go fucking jerk off, man.
Do you think it's at all possible that you realized maybe you had some predatory behavior and you were kind of wondering if they were, that might be something they're into?
No, I think it was just an interest. I was curious about their mentality. As far as it was a very bizarre TCAP related way to get into a TCAP related question.
Sure.
Wow, that's very strange of me to ask.
Do you think maybe that was just like an awkward way for you to introduce some weird sex talk? Like maybe because there have been people in the past who, unfortunately, there are people who have been attracted to this community because it's a place where women, even though we're talking about how repulsed we are by it, it's a place where women feel comfortable openly talking about, the sexual content. So do you think that was just your way of sort of testing the waters and like, hey, I'm going to bring up it, but really all you really cared about was sex? Or, do you think that there's more to it? What are your thoughts?
I don't think there's more to it. The conversation was sexual from the very beginning to the very end. From her sending me a nude pic. I incorrectly said it wasn't a nude pic, but the picture was of her pulling up her dress above her waist.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation was sexual from the moment she initiated it and pretty much stayed there.
Sure. Do you think your fixation with genies is just like a simple kink, or do you think it's more of a fetish that has actually caused you issues in your life? Clearly it's caused some issues here right now, but beyond this.
We all have our fetishes.
I am confused by your using kink as a separate thing than fetish. I don't know how you're defining.
Maybe I'm defining it wrong, but from what I've heard from others is, kink is just something you're into, right? It's this, I like this kinky behavior. Whereas a fetish is, I can't get off without this. And I'm very fixated on this and it causes problems in my everyday life. It affects my normal functionality. Not to say that people with fetishes always have problems in their normal life, but do you think it's something that consumes you more than it should and causes you issues? I guess how I'll ask you then.
You've changed the definition so much that I'm now completely confused. But I will give you the answer to the best.
Well, here, then, okay, let me re-ask it. Let me re-ask it, because I realize I get a little rambly. Do you think that your fixation with genies, your sexual fixation with genies, do you think it's just a simple something that kind of turns you on? Or do you think it's something that is kind of deep-rooted and actually causes you issues with normal function in your life?
Yes to the second part. It is very deep-rooted. As long back as I remember, I've had a fascination.
Sure. And has it ever caused you any other issues? Like, I don't know, maybe like a girlfriend and you're bringing up genie shit and she's like, what's this about? And, or even just something in your personal life. Has it ever caused you issues other than this?
Yes, it has.
Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yes, I believe women I was dating who I was otherwise a very good match for were not interested in that.
Do you feel that you ever pushed it even though they expressed that they were not interested in it?
I would say pushed. Nothing overly dramatic, Lifetime movie, but nonetheless, I kept trying to suggest it, and eventually it ended in the relationship ending. She goes, "Look, you have these desires that I do not have."
Sure. So it got in the way of you respecting someone else's sexual boundaries before, would be a fair statement, yes?
Oh, sexual boundaries to me sounds too much like assault, so I would disagree with the wording. I would definitely say that I was trying to get someone to engage in something they didn't want to do, and as a result, they left, and it was the right thing for them to do.
Which would indicate that it was probably pretty persistent, right? It probably wasn't like a one-time conversation, like, hey, listen, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to involve that in our sex life. And then that was the end of it. It sounds like you were told, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, but you continue to persist, is what I mean by violating someone's sexual boundaries. Not that you held her down and forced her to put on a genie costume.
Okay.
When you mention you desire like this master-slave relationship, do you have an interest in BDSM and alternative lifestyles and all of the responsibilities that go along with it?
Yes.
Or is it specific to genies and only about your own personal gratification? That's really all you care about. You're just fixated on that.
I've been in successful relationships with people where there was definitely a master-slave vibe. And we clicked well.
Now I'm just going to kind of move out of it and say, do you feel that you have apologized to everyone that you need to?
I have apologized to everyone that has come into my memory. But when I worded the apology in my video, because, again, my memory, I said, although I mentioned specific people that I can think of, I apologize to everyone, women as well as men, because a man, obviously I didn't come on to him or really get pushy sexually to the point of propositioning, but they had to watch that. They were probably uncomfortable. They probably had a feeling of violation. And so I really want to make sure I apologize to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yourself included.
Done. He's just going around in circles now. Well, thanks you guys for coming. Bye.